Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to speak about toxic relationships, not only from a romantic standpoint, but also from what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word when you are like not romantically involved with someone? Yeah, that word. I'm not going to edit this out. I'm not. So you know what word I'm referencing. And if I think about this later, I'll put that word in the description area below. But anyways, this is what we're going to speak about: toxic relationships from a romantic standpoint and from a non-romantic standpoint, because I cannot remember that word. Platonic. There you go, from a platonic standpoint, okay? So your girl like K-dramas. I even like C-dramas. I like American romantic movies. But let me be the first one to tell you that those movies, shows, series show toxic relationships. And if you're not careful, you'll start to think that in order to get in a relationship, a serious relationship with someone that will lead to marriage, you have to be on an emotional roller coaster in order to get with that person. Women in particular, if a man, yes, if a man is into you and he likes you and he wants to be with you, he will pursue you without all the games. I believe that pornography, a lot of these romantic movies or dramas play a role into the way that society view relationships and view love. I also believe that our environment, our nuclear environment, meaning our nuclear family, also play a role in the way that we view relationships and love. So let me give you a little history lesson, and I've spoken about this in other videos. Slavery was abolished in 1865. As soon as slavery was abolished, there were black codes, also known as the Jim Crow laws, that were established to prevent black people from buying houses, buying land, succeeding in society, going to schools with white people. That didn't end until 1964. My mom was born in 1963, and I was born in 1988. And so after the Jim Crow laws, white privilege became a thing. And what white privilege is that if you are in the white community, there are racial issues that don't impact you, and because of the color of your skin, you're privileged when you apply to jobs, when you go other places around the world. You're not treated the way that people of color are treated solely because of the color of your skin. And so I'll put more information in the description area below. There's actually a video that I recommend called White Fragility by Dr. I'm going to pull it up now. Again, like I said, homegirl, homegirl doesn't edit these videos, but I want to pull this up to give you her name. Dr. Robin DiAngelo. And the talk is on the Seattle channel on YouTube, and it's called Dr. Robin DiAngelo Discusses White Fragility. I encourage you guys to check it out. It will blow you away. She's a white sociologist, a white woman who's a sociologist, and she speaks about racial issues, and I believe that it will give the black community and a white community understanding about racial issues. So I'll put this link in the description area below. Okay, so now that we understand that, black parenting has been, not all, I don't want to speak for all black parents, but I'm going to say I could comfortably say that at least 50% of black parents parent from a place of trauma that hadn't been healed due to how they were raised. Okay, so I told you guys that the abolishment of slavery in the USA happened in 1865. I'm 4 generations away from slavery. So I was born in 1988. My mom was born in 1963. I think my granddad was born in 1936, and perhaps his parents were born in I'm going to say 1900. So I'm going to say 4 to 5 generations away from slavery. So Jim Crow laws and segregation and black codes didn't end until 1964. My mom was born in 1963. So when my mom parents raised her, they had to raise her to not do this around white folks. Be careful about going here, because if you go there, then you're going to be ostracized by the police. Be careful about doing this. That's raising a child from a place of trauma and not from a place of freedom and healing. And so the black community, my mom's generation, they did the best I believe that they could do. But then they made many traumas with my generation, those born in the 80s, right? And so Jesus had to teach me how to love from a place of healing and not from a place of trauma. So he had to detox me. I spent the last 2 to 3 years being detoxed by Jesus. He had to teach me truly what love was. He had to teach me how not to be controlled and manipulated by gaslighters. He had to teach me how to be free in him. And it was hard, it was difficult, but it was so worth it, right? And so again, we're speaking about relationships, we're speaking about toxic relationships, and how the culture, from movies to the impact of slavery, and then the impact of the black codes, and also known as Jim Crow laws, have impacted the way that we view relationships, whether platonic or romantic relationships. And so women, especially black women, but really people of color, so Asian women, Latin women, and black women, but women, white women included in the romantic part of relationships. If a man is really into you, you do not have to have that K-drama, C-drama, American romantic movie, so I'll call it A-drama experience. No, like, yes, I cry at these dramas. These dramas are amazing, but that is just not healthy. It's not healthy when a guy has to spend 16 episodes pretending not to like, 16 episodes pretending not to be into you, not to like you, and then the last 4 episodes he's into you and you guys are happy and you're married. Like, that's not healthy. That's not healthy. If someone has to play with your emotions for 16 episodes and be mean to you and like ignore you and pretend like they don't like you, child, save yourself time. And so what I've learned from Jesus is to look for the red flags. What are the red flags in romantic relationships? What are the red flags in platonic relationships? What are the red flags in even relationships that we have with our family, right? And so what I'm going to do, if you swipe this way or this way, just swipe if you're watching this on Instagram. But if you're not watching this on Instagram, I'll put the link to the Instagram post in the description area below if you're watching this on YouTube. I'm going to put red flags of gaslighters so that you can understand the red flags of basically manipulators in any relationship. A lot of times people who are toxic don't realize that they're toxic because that's all they ever known is toxicity. Toxicity is tox. Oh, come on, phone. But that's all they ever known is how to be a toxic person. So when hold on. Yeah. Oh goodness. I want to know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. Most of the time I am, but I do pronounce the words correctly that I'm looking. Toxicity. I was wrong. Toxicity. But a lot of I don't know what sentence I was using now, I forgot. But a lot of toxic people, they're so used to toxicity that they don't realize that they're toxic. They don't. And um, and so the same thing with the culture in our mind in this day and age. If you're so used to watching toxic relationships on TV, in movies, in dramas, you may start to think that in order to be in a relationship with a guy, that you have to accept toxic behavior from him. Or let's just say that it's because there are some toxic women. So men, if you're watching this, the same thing applies to you, right? And I think that with women in particular, because I'm single too, both of us, all of us have to be comfortable with being single until God gives us someone who will be honest and transparent about their intentions with us and pursue us. And when I say pursue, I don't mean like K-drama pursuit, like, this dramatic pursuit. I mean like pursue by saying, hey, woman, I'm not saying like he should say call you woman, but whatever your name is as a woman, this is what I want, this is what I'm interested in, and I'm going to show you by my actions. And I mean, it's so simple. Like relationships don't have to be as complicated as they are if two people are detoxed by Jesus. I had to be detoxed by Jesus. It took two to 3 years because I grew up in a toxic environment and I had become so accustomed to that toxic environment that I didn't realize that the relationships that I had with family members were toxic. And the same thing in like corporate America. As a Black woman, I had become so used to racism, and even like within like just being a woman, had become so used to like sexism and like catcalling and all of that disrespectful stuff, that I just feel you just become so used to it that you just be like, okay, well, this is just American culture, or just this is just what it is. This is what it is. But no, that's not the answer to racism, sexism, and being sexually harassed. That's not the answer to it, right? It's not, okay, well, I'm a Black woman and this is just the lot that God had given me to deal with. No, he wants us to speak up against these injustices and these inequities in life, right? And so now that I'm a Christian, I'll say it like this, the things that I used to value before, I don't value anymore, and vice versa. So I worked in Silicon Valley. I had a good job. I had a Jeep Wrangler. I was saving for a house. I traveled around the world. And then when I became a Christian, Jesus took, basically, I allowed him to take all of that stuff away from me. And he showed me what's important to him. And the things that are important to Jesus are the things that are important to me. Oh my goodness, am I going to cry? I'm going to cry. You guys, it's like I only cry when I talk about these things that are important. Because that's how important they are. So I realized to Jesus what's important is, helping the poor. And what's important is speaking up against the injustice, whether racial injustice or justice when it comes to socioeconomic status. What's important to Jesus is loving Jesus and then loving people despite their differences, right? And the man that I want is someone who has that same heart and passion about helping people who cannot pay us back for the help. Oh my gosh. Whew. Before, I wanted like the American dream, and I was close to getting it, but I just don't see things that way anymore. this is just me. I'm not insinuating that you have to have the same joys and the same passions as I do. And so I'll conclude by saying I really thank God for making men. Like, I do. Like, and I'm not saying this to be sexually explicit. I'm not saying this to be inappropriate, but when I look at a man, it could be a short man, a chubby man, a tall man. It just got to be a man. And in my idea of masculinity, and maybe we'll talk about this a different video, but when I just look at a man and I look at them, I'm just, in a non-sexual way, I'm just so like thankful that God made men. And the reason for it is because I think it's just wait. I think it is okay, how can I explain this? I don't know how to, the point that I'm getting to is there, but I don't know how to really explain it. Jesus, help me. I guess I see the value that men can bring. I don't know. This is going to be a really weird way to end today's video because I just can't really explain it, but it does tie into like today's topic. And this is what it is. I see the value in a detoxed man. And when I say detox, I mean detox from family toxicity, detox from culture toxicity, like what the culture expects a man to be, maybe a player or to play games. Like when a man has been detoxed by Jesus, I mean, that is so attractive to me. Like what's interesting is like I watch a lot of fitness videos because your girl is going to lose this gut. It's not an if, it's just a matter of when. So I've been exercising and everything, and so I watch YouTubers who are fit, and so there's this one channel that I watch, and the guy is an attractive guy. And he usually is not wearing a shirt, not because he's being provocative, but because he's a trainer. Is he not? Wait, hold on. That sounds right. No, he usually wears a shirt. There are times when he doesn't wear a shirt, but it's not to be provocative, is what I'm saying. He's a trainer. But when I watch his channel, there's nothing that is like, woo, it's not like I envision him naked or envision him, doing inappropriate things. For me, at least, I can watch a very attractive man just be attractive and not have like goosebumps, right? And not like them like that. And the reason for that is because in addition to the physical appearance, what really attracts me to someone is what they're about. Like there's a video that I have on my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel name is titled Talking With You, and it's on Instagram. And on Instagram, my Instagram name is called or titled or is I Am Talking With You. And I speak about like the next 60 years of my life, right? And so watch that video for greater details. But when I think about a man, I like, in addition to physical appearance, what will draw me into that person is what they want to do the next 60 years of their life. Like, are you going to live the next 60 years of your life chasing the American dream, or being in the American dream? Or are you going to live the next 60 years of your life doing what's right, having integrity, speaking up, loving God, loving people, and that is the difference for me. So I can see attractive men and not be like, I can see physically attractive men and not like feel goosebumps. And I think that is something that is really important to me because it helps you stay away from toxicity. And what I mean by that is, if you're going around looking for men based upon physical appearance, and the same thing with women, like if you're a man and you're looking for women based upon only physical appearance, like that is like the soul of everything in seeking a partner, then you're a toxic person and your partner probably is going to be hurt by you, or you're probably going to be hurt by that person. And that's why a lot of relationships fail and don't extend beyond, a certain period. It's because even though physical appearance is important, it's not going to be enough to sustain a relationship, because you guys have to have something that you're passionate about. You guys have to have something in common that you're passionate about. For me, I know what I'm passionate about, and that is what's going to sustain after, after you have your, for me, it would be until, it won't be until I get married. So I'm celibate, waiting until marriage to have sex. So, but after that, that 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, hooray, you're going to want something. And then maybe after 3 months, you get used to seeing the person's face and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this person's still attractive, but you're going to need something else. And I believe if you get into a relationship with the motives of having that deeper, what time? Oh, we're 21 minutes in. Okay, I'm going to conclude shortly. That deeper connection based upon what you're passionate about, then I believe that it will sustain and even help remove some level of toxicity. But I believe that, for me personally, that could only be done if Jesus detox you. Because again, like I said, with me, I didn't realize that I was polluted by society, by culture, by the way that I was raised, until Jesus showed me. It took 2 to 3 years again, showed me how toxic I was because of how I was raised. And so that's, like I said, Jesus will clean you deeply if you allow him to. It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it. And so look for the red flags. There are always going to be red flags when it comes to toxic people and women. If a guy is not honest with you up front and he doesn't show it by his actions, he's just not that into you. And it's okay. Like, it's okay. Move on. Don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. And this is just like not only men in America, it's men in everywhere. Men in Korea, men in the Philippines, men in Canada. Like, this is just a human issue, right? And so I tried to say as much as I could say within a 15-minute period, but I'm almost 10 minutes over this 15-minute period. You guys do not like super long video, so that's why I try to cut it down to 15 minutes, but we're almost 25 minutes in. So I just want to conclude by asking you guys, what do you think the 3 signs of a toxic person is? What are the 3 signs or characteristics of a toxic person? That's question number 1. Question number 2 is, what are you doing not to be a toxic person? That is a good question. A lot of times we can recognize toxicity in a person, but we cannot recognize it in ourselves, right? So I'm going to conclude today's video. Remember to check out the links in the description area below, and I'll see you next video. Bye-bye.